more news from NYCC's Jim Lee and friends, more glimpses into the fight of the century, Icon versus Hardware. This series was teased and set up over the summer through the Milestones in History one-shot, and now we have an actual release date and some cover images. Like all hero v hero fights, we can probably expect these two to set aside their differences at some point for the greater good. But there are some much more interesting elements at play in this setup, and I'm excited to see it all play out. Stick around for all the details as we start from the beginning. How did we get to this point? Secret origins can't be kept secret forever. Hardware made a startling discovery at the end of Milestones in History with the potential to put an end to Icon's stranglehold on the Dakotaverse. Icon is an alien with superhuman abilities that crash landed on Earth about 200 years ago. There's a lot of great origin stuff for Icon, but the important thing to know is that he is a Superman archetype mixed with a little bit of Martian Manhunter, and he is stranded on Earth until our technology can catch up to his so that he can repair his ship. Curtis Metcalf, on the other hand, is a regular human with a great but tragic backstory. He is also a genius-level technology engineer. He created his hardware suit and was betrayed by the one person that he trusted, the person that gave him everything, and then comes to the realization that it was all a facade and he had been used from day one. That's how we get to Iron Man with Batman level trust issues, and that is where Milestones in History comes into play. The Milestones in History one-shot was an anthology piece that had characters from Milestone comics tell the stories of African American historical figures from their perspectives as superheroes trying to make the world a better place. It was really cool, and you should definitely check it out. The meta-narrative in the book features Icon, Rocket, and Static all in a singular meeting place specifically gathered together to tell these stories. They make it known up front that Hardware is supposed to be there as well, but he didn't show up. The book weaves back and forth between the stories the characters are telling and their commentary and exchanges between each other as to why the story is significant. At the end of the book, there's basically a prologue where we see what Hardware was up to while he was supposed to be there with everyone. Hardware tells the story of Benjamin Banneker, a genius civil engineer that helps lay out Washington, D.C. Hardware knows of secret tunnels and government holding facilities that Banneker built, and he knows that the Union Army found Icon's spaceship after the Civil War. After taking out a few government drones, he steals a crate that he believes has Icon's ship, but finds instead a time machine built by Banneker. With instructions in hand, it looks like Hardware is going to travel through time. Playing with the time stream will likely have a lot of repercussions for the man in the machine. The B cover depicts Hardware standing over a mangled Icon and stating that Icon thought he could beat me, who's next? There is also a caption on the cover mentioning that Rocket is going to have to deal with dinosaurs storming Paris Island. This certainly seems like a butterfly effect concern. That's about all we know at the present moment, but this is exciting nonetheless. If the B cover is accurate to the story inside, then it sounds like Hardware might be depicted as the bad guy in this series, which is not an unusual depiction for the character as his story is built around negative public sentiment. But he is typically on the right side of things, just misunderstood. So it'll be interesting to see how he and Icon come into contention. Icon typically has good publicity, but he also has a lot of selfish motivations, and so it'll be interesting to see what side of things he falls on. At the end of the day, I'm sure we're going to get a Shades of Grey style story that preserves the image of both. What are your predictions? How are you expecting this to play out? Let me know in the comments below, and check out the video on screen now.